Hello everyone, thanks for tuning into today's fourth video. We're going to have a look at the weather for next week's 10 days for today's fourth video. Day 10 will take us to New Year's Day, 1st of January. Wow, wow, wow. And we'll be able to extend out beyond that with the GFS and ECM Ensembles. Wait around a couple of weeks. We'll have a look at CFS V2 for January at the end of the video, and we're going to have loads and loads on the strat. So we've been talking a little bit about the strat in our 10 to 14 days over the past few days, but I think today is the day when we're going to do a lot on the strategy. So that'll be through the first part of the video, and consequently this is going to be an extended 10 to 14 day today. We could be pushing 25-30 minutes. We'll see how we get on. Please like, share, subscribe on all of today's videos and content. Thank you so much for doing that. We're going to be live at 10:30 with the pub run, the final pub run live before Crimbo. So it could all start getting a little bit crazy, I will think. But I shall see you later on for that one. Okay, let's do it, man. We're going to start off with the temperature at 10 HPA versus average from the JMA. So here we go. The black line shows where we've been with temperature at 10 HPA in the stratosphere over the Arctic and the North Pole. The grey line is the trend line time of the year. We're above average with temperatures at 10 HPA and have been through most of December, actually hovering somewhere around -58 or -57 currently. At this point in December, we should be down here close to -70, so around 10-15 degrees above average. If you go a little bit lower down to 30 HPA, there we can see we've also gone above average for the first time this season. So back around the turn of the month, we're down here at around -80, but we're now heading up to -70. You'd normally expect to be around -76, something like that. So at both levels of the stratosphere over the North Pole, though 10 and also 30 HPA, we find that we are a little bit above average with the temperature. That's because we've had a little bit of a displacement event of the polar vortex. So we've already seen a little bit of warming through this season, through this winter so far, which has caused a displacement event. This is from the GFS at Precip. Notice these blue colours being pushed out over onto the Atlantic and European side. That's what we call a bit of a displacement event of the polar vortex. Polar vortex still won't treat in business, but as we run through the next couple of weeks, we see a warming gathering pace there between Christmas and New Year over Siberia, this green yellow area here. And as we push on beyond that, we find the warming intensifying into the new year. So yes, we start reaching SSW temperature levels over Siberia when we get into the beginning of January, and that starts to penetrate through towards the Arctic as well. So see how these red colours are pushed from Siberia into the North Pole. Continuing displacement event. Notice the blue and purple colours here pushed out into the North Atlantic, Greenland, Northern Europe, and over towards Canada or Eastern Canada and North America as well. That's how we finish up with the GFS 6 Latest. So warming continuing over Siberia and still penetrating into the North Pole. Still the displacement event of the PV. Would that be enough to send us on a win into reverse? A little bit inconclusive whether that quite reaches the level of being able to send zone wind into reverse. It would definitely cause it is causing a displacement event of the polar vortex. Whether it would be a technical major sudden stratospheric warming via the solar wind going into reverse, a little bit inconclusive. Let's go through GFS Ensembles then. So we shall start with the control run, and again we see significant warming of the stratosphere with that one pushing into the polar region as well, causing a displacement event of the polar vortex. This is how Ensemble member number 1 is looking. Again, much of a muchness with that one. Ensemble member number 2 looks like this. Well, we're looking for a split ideally. So we want to have a reversal of the solar wind at 10 HPA to say that we are having or have had SSW, and ideally we want to turn a displacement event into a split of the polar vortex, a split event, because they always get the longer lasting tropospheric response in terms of blocking and whatnot. That's ensemble member number 3. Ensemble member number 4 looks like that. Ensemble member number 5 looking like that. Ensemble member number 6 looks like that. Ensemble member number 7. So number 7 is looking. Ensemble member number 8. They're all going for a significant warming and displacement. That one getting quite close to a split at the end, I think. Notice how the 2 dark blue loads are starting to get pulled apart. So ensemble member number 8 looks like it's getting pretty close to a split, with one area of dark blue going off into Northern Europe and another area of dark blue heading off into the eastern parts of America. If we go on another 24 hours, I think that would probably just about split the PV. Ensemble member number 9 looks like that. Ensemble member number 10, how's that one looking? Let's have a look. So ensemble member 10, ensemble member number 11 looks like that. Stretching the PV to breaking point with that one, but still just about holding together up to the 7th of January. Very significant warming moving in from Siberia into the Arctic with that one. Ensemble member number 12. Come in, number 12. Here we go. Looks like that. Ensemble member number 13 is looking like this, everybody. And then ensemble member number 14. What do you make of it? Let me know in the comments what you think. Ensemble member number 14 looks like that. Ensemble member number 15 looking like that one. Ensemble member number 16, again significant warming, no split, only displacement. Ensemble member 17 looks like that. Ensemble member number 18, coming number 18. Let's see what you're going to do. There we go. Ensemble member number 19. Here we go, number 19. Again, looking like that. Ensemble member number 20. Goodness gracious me. Here we go, that one. Ensemble member number 21. And ensemble member number 22 looks like that. Ensemble member number 23 looks like that. Ensemble member number 24 looking like that. Ensemble member number 25 again looks like that. Ensemble member number 26. How's that looking like that? Ensemble member number 27. Looking like that. That's stretching the PV, you know, really stretching its breaking point as well, I think. Ensemble member number 28, looking like that. Ensemble member number 29 looks like that. And ensemble member number 30, finally, looks like that. They're all going for a significant warming. Temperatures reaching sudden stratospheric warming temperature levels, whether they same as though wind into reverse is inconclusive, all going for a displacement event of the polar vortex, but none of them going for a split. Couple very close to splitting the PV, I think, by the 7th of January, but none of them actually showing a split at this point. That's all at 10 HPA. We can see a little bit of GFS data from next weather at 30 HPA as well, so it's going a little bit lower down towards the troposphere, actually, at 30 HPA. Currently, we look like that. That's how things are currently set up at 30 HPA. So, again, you see the displacement event of the polar vortex blue colours here into Northern Europe, UK, Atlantic, over towards the east parts of America. The green, yellow colours over on the Pacific, Siberian and Canadian side of the Arctic. Now, as we get to the end of the GFS run, so look, notice orange and light red colours appearing then just here. That tells us that the warming we've just been looking at on most ensemble members and the GFS operation at 10 HPA is indeed moving down, propagating down towards 13 HPA there as well. Down to around minus 30 at 30 HPA. There will be a few more days of added warming onto that as well. Oh, yes, it looks like warming taking place at both levels of the stratosphere at 10 HPA initially, and then down to 30 HPA. This is from Weather is Cool. I haven't shown this so far this season, but you can see that currently we are, so the black line here is like the trend line, so we're below average already, as we've already established, with solar winds at 10 HPA. And we're going to see a bit of strengthening over Christmas, but then see a drop off into January. Some of these GFS ensembles, so all these green lines are individual members of GFS ensembles. Some of those green lines are now reaching the all-important 0 line. So some of them, not many of them yet, but some of them are sending the solar wind into reverse. They're all going for a dramatic weakening zona winds, all dropping down to around there. But there are a few now that are beginning to get the zona wind to that 0 line, beginning to send zona winds into reverse. Remember, to have a technical SSW, we have to get the zona wind into reverse at 10 HPA. That's all GFS data. This is from the ECMWF. This is via University of Berlin. So here we can actually see where the North Pole is. It's just there. They highlight it very nicely. That's the current situation today. We'll establish it's a bit above average with the temperature at 10 HPA, but still pretty cold. Now, as we get to day 10, which is the 31st, because this was generated last night, on last night's 12Z ECM run. As we get to the 31st of December, New Year's Eve, we see the first signs of some warming here over the Siberian side of the Arctic of North Pole. Remember, that's the North Pole, just there, magnetic North Pole. So we've got a few more days of warming after that. We already see the warming beginning to appear, going into that sort of temperature level. So a significant warming of the stratosphere already, possibly reaching SSW temperature levels. That would intensify a few more days further on into early January. Would that move then into the top of the North Pole? That's what we're looking to see. And this is extended ECM data. This is from ecmdata.int. So, again, this is a warming that we've had throughout most of December, actually, and has created a displacement event of the polar vortex, you know, and has weakened solar wind already to below average. That's still apparent over northern Canada and into Greenland. This is the warming that is currently, or is predicted to start developing, though, through the Christmas week across Russia and into Siberia. That's week 1 temperature anomaly. This is week 2, 1st to the 8th of January. Massive warming there, covering a wide part of the Arctic and the North Pole. Again, these are anomalies to average, so we can't necessarily say that is reaching SSW temperature levels on the scale. It only going to 10 degrees or more above average. Again, SSW, we've got to go to around 50 or 60 degrees or more above average. However, we've already established from the data we've looked at, you know, from the GFS and from the ECM, but particularly from the GFS, but we are just about reaching the required temperature that would usually generate an SSW. That is week 3. It's the 8th to 15th of January. Again, deep red over the pole, moving more towards the Greenland side, maybe, of the Arctic and North Pole. Then warming continuing, begin to reduce the warming a little bit into week 4, 15th, 22nd of January. Of course, we can't maintain those very warm temperatures indefinitely over the stratosphere. And week 5 and week 6 reducing things down further. So by week 6, which is the 29th of January to the 5th of February, we're going back closer to average then. But of course, if we've had an SSW, then we will be starting to look to the tropospheric response through the middle and second half of January. This is another way of looking at the polar vortex. This is the mean zona wind at 10 HPA, extended forecast from the ECM. So we do see many of the ECM ensemble members now going for a reversal of zona wind. This is the 0 line just here, looking much more interesting, say, than the GFS at weather is cool. For example, many ensemble members are going down here. Some of them are keeping things a little bit more positive up here. They're all going for a reduction in the strength of the zona wind, the strength of the PV essentially. So currently quite weak, weaker than average. Getting close to average between Christmas and New Year, and then we get the drop down. It's just how far down we're going to go. The ensemble mean, which is this thick blue line just here, doesn't quite go into reverse, but it's not far away from it. So I reckon the next week is going to be very important to keep a close eye on these on a day-by-day basis to see whether we start seeing the ensemble mean begin to drop into negative territory. I would say around half, just perhaps fewer than half of the ECM ensemble blue members are going for a genuine SSW there and a reversal of zona winds at 10 HPA anytime from like the beginning of January to around the 11th of the month. So all very interesting, and we're going to keep you updated on this. So what we can say is that we're definitely going to have a, well, can't say definitely because it's a forecast, but it looks highly likely that we're going to get a significant warming of the stratosphere over Christmas and particularly into the new year, starting over Siberia, moving towards the Arctic through the first week of January. We look like we're going to reach SSW temperature levels, so it looks like from a temperature perspective we're reaching the required level. Whether we manage to send a solar wind into reverse or not could be a close run thing. We'll know a little bit more on that, I think, in the next week or so, as we get a bit closer to it. And also the other thing we're looking at is a displacement event at the moment, not a split event. But of course, that could change. Just to say about a split event, to get that, what we need to see for a split event. So we're getting the main warming, getting the major one from Siberia in towards the Arctic there. But to get a split event, what is usually quite helpful is to get another one, let's change colour, get another warming somewhere around here through the North Atlantic. So it kind of acts as a pincer movement. The second warming doesn't have to be as dramatic as the first one. It doesn't have to be as dramatic as this. But with that warming putting pressure on this side of the pole, we're looking to try and get another warming on this side of the pole, really acting as a pincer movement to further stretch the polar vortex to its limits and eventually possibly to to break the PV apart, to split it and move the warming in over the top. That's one thing we aren't seeing much, if any, sign of at the moment, to get a split event. So this is looking like a displacement event rather than a split. But of course, it's early days. The main warming takes place through the first week or so of January, so we shall keep you updated. Okay, that was interesting, wasn't it? Right, let's do the rest of your 10 to 14 day event. How long have we been talking for? That went on sometime, 15 minutes. Okay, it's going to be a long one. Here we go, but I'll try and get through it as quickly as I can. So, temperature is now sitting at 6.1. We've gone to 6 degrees. Remarkable. 1.6 degrees above average. That's visual to yesterday, to the 21st of December, when you think we was over 5 degrees below average at the very start of the month. That's going to carry on rising into the Christmas period, actually. These are GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles next couple of weeks. We're looking at North Berwick today. Got the wrong place. A person who asked me to look for East Lothian. I looked at West Lothian. So I think this is the right place that Alan wanted me to look at. I hope it is, Alan. Merry Christmas to you, my friend. So the red line is the 30-year upper air temperature average for North Berwick, although it breaks when we get to New Year's Day. Starting off around average at the moment, going to go above average into Christmas period and then dropping later on in the Christmas period close to average. If you can envisage that the red line would be through there somewhere through the first week of January, it looks like it's going to be a bit colder than average, really, with the ensemble mean, which is white line just here. Under that, as we go through the New Year and into the first week of January, it's already looking a little bit colder in the first week of January. I doubt that's got any I doubt that SSW's got any impacts on that. So that's just a random sort of cooler interlude that's developing rather than being caused by the by any sort of strat warming that's going on. Precipitation wise, so yes, it could be plenty of precipitation to come really from start to finish. We've been saying that, but it's going to be an unsettled Christmas and into the new year as well. Snow row for North Berwick looks like that. So quite a few snow spikes after Christmas. Nothing really happening before Christmas, but after Christmas, between Christmas and New Year, see some snow spikes and some continuing into early January as well. What about Birmingham? So there we see a cluster of snow spikes as well, interestingly, up to the New Year. So any time from around the 29th of December to New Year's Day, we have got a few snow spikes there. We might be in for a cold snap between Christmas and the New Year. Temperature anomalies from the 22nd December to the 30th coming out above average. Going to be a very mild Christmas, of course. Precipitation anomalies from the 22nd December to the 30th is coming out wetter than normal. The latest Windflow Map from Earth from oldSchool.net shows that we bring in The wind from off the Atlantic yet again today. Here it comes, wafting in from the west. Right, let's do chart data very quickly. Myself, latest you can make your run. We're talking midnight on Christmas Day. Very mild in the south, cooler in the north. Outbreaks of rain in between. Going to be unsettled and mild Christmas Day for most of us. By the end of Christmas Day to Boxing Day, cooler air starts coming in from the northwest. Then mist low starts heading in from off the Atlantic. As that zips through by the 28th. With turning wind into the northeast, that started to bring potentially some colder air in. So a little brief cold snap potentially there around the 28th, 29th of December. Under missile transit risk, we might even get some overnight frost. Wow, wow, wow. I can't. Again, it looks really mild for the south on Christmas Day, but by Boxing Day, cooler air is starting to move in from north. Check out our 20th Christmas update if you want to know more about weather in detail over Christmas, by the way, everybody. Heading into the no man's land between Christmas and the New Year. Low pressure coming in from off the Atlantic. That's keeping the unsettled conditions going. Not much of a north-northeasterly with icon. We just keep wind in from the Atlantic, so relatively mild there up to the 29th of December. That's that one done. Precip KMA. This is the new model from South Korea. Again, looking very mild, particularly in the south on Christmas Day. Heading into Boxing Day and beyond it, low pressure keeps the unsettled weather going. As that low pressure shifts away to the east, we might start pulling some colder air from the north temporarily on the 28th of December. Doesn't last for long. We're back into those westers again. Heading into New Year, looking quite stormy actually there as we get towards New Year's Eve. Winds turning into the north then, into New Year's. A little cold snap around New Year's Day. It's not going to last, so we're back into those southwesterlies again by the 3rd of January. The GFS midnight run looking like this. Again, really mild for the south on Christmas Day. Cooler for Boxing Day. Very unsettled, wet and winding through Wednesday to Thursday. That carries on heading up to the New Year as well. Low pressure blasting in across the country into New Year's Eve. Could be quite stormy in the north end. A little bit cooler as well. Notice the black line here. That's the jet stream. And that is easing its way southward. So we are going on to the cool side of the jet stream there between Christmas and the New Year. Although there's no blocking to force particularly cold air out of the pole. So all the cold air is up here, of course, over the Arctic. And there's no sort of block to bleed that cold air out of the Arctic and the pole and down into mid-latitudes. So what we're looking at is like polar maritime airstreams coming from like South Greenland and whatnot, which will be cooler than we're going to have over Christmas, but isn't desperately cold. But you will feel the drop in the temperature anyway with this. Though we go beyond that, we head up beyond the New Year. This is the 3rd of January. Still, the onslaught goes on with further areas of low pressure in from off the Atlantic. So through the first week of January, still looking very unsettled, and even up to the end, which gets 7th of January, there's not much side of the Atlantic running out of steam. Their heights are trying to rise a bit over Scandinavia. Nevertheless, it's the west-southwesterlies that continue to dominate the GFS. So where are we going back? So where am I on the tabs? Where are you, Gab? Where are you, Gab? So look at that. Okay, what am I doing? Where are we going? Where are we going, Gab? Right, I've got, there we go. Right, so that's the midnight run. This is the GFS 6 then. I knew it's going to be an epic video, so that's all the midnight run. Some reason I put midnight run up twice there. Why did I do that? I don't know. But anyway, this is the GFS 6 then. That's what I'm looking for. Right, very latest GFS run hot off presses. Although Charles Ebb will be appearing soon. So, very mild air coming to south on Christmas Day, heading in towards Boxing Day, a little bit cooler down, and then back into those really mild, wet, windy conditions through beyond Christmas to the New Year. Heading to New Year itself, the low pressure starts to move away to the east. Cooler air, colder air perhaps starts coming down from the north, and low pressure for New Year's Day starts heading into that cold air. That might deliver something a bit wintry up in the north. That low pressure zips through the country by the 2nd of January, winds going back into the north, so becoming colder. And then colder weather staying with us on the GFS 6 through the first week of January. So notice this is a little area of high pressure nosing down from the north. That helps to keep wind in from quite a cold northerly direction. That's the 5th of January, for example. Looking cold there. Maybe wintry as well. Maybe some snow showers in northern and eastern parts of the country. Double O starting to move into that cold air by the end of GFS 6 7th of January. That might deliver something a little bit wintry as well. Notice again heights just trying to rise a little bit over Scandinavia there. Not strongly up to that point, but all looking rather interesting the first week of January there with the GFS 6 and something a little bit colder than we've been used to for quite some time. If you enjoyed the video, please do like, share, subscribe. Make sure to show everyone for doing that. Why not drop a comment? Let's know what you think about this or about video. Don't forget to tell friends about GavsWeatherVids. We need to put on around 12 or 13 subscribers. That is all. Get to 17.5k. We are so close. Wow. 17.5k. Please give us a sub to your friends and family to subscribe. Can we get 17,500 subscribers before Christmas? Won't that be epic? Goodness gracious. I'd love it if we could do that. Thank you so much, everybody. GM, again, looking really mild down in the south into Christmas morning, but by Boxing Day morning, cooler air is easing its way in from the north. Low pressure's back in, end of Boxing Day into Wednesday 27th, turning better windier again, and then that low pressure clears away, and we're left with more low pressure racing in from the Atlantic. Further bouts of wind and rain to come all the way up to daytime. Gets us to New Year's Day. The Atlantic is in the ascendancy, and then the East WF looking like this. Once more, milder south, cooler than the north on Christmas Day. All areas looking a little bit cooler. Get through to Boxing Day, then low pressure heads in from off the Atlantic as we go through to Thursday 28th of December, through Wednesday 27th, Thursday 28th into no man's land. Low pressure pushing up from the south. That's on a more southerly track, so you're coming in some quite cold air. Might deliver something a bit wintry in the northern half of the country with that area of low pressure. Eventually that moves into the North Sea. As we get towards the end of December, we're pulling in quite a chilly northeasterly wind there. Northerly northeasterly winds, not from a desperately cold source, but certainly from a significantly cooler source, or colder source, as we get through to New Year's Eve, and then New Year's Day. Looks like that little transient ridge building through the country. Next area of low pressure trying to come in from off the Atlantic. That's probably quite cold for New Year's Day. This is a precipitation forecast based on the East Chevron from Temp.com. Going to be a bit of snow event tonight, actually, in the far north and northeast of Scotland. That's crept up on us a little bit. Tomorrow it will all turn back to rain, and then into Christmas Eve, looking at a very mild, damp sort of Christmas Eve with shower rain, especially in the west. Christmas Day peps the rain up and moves it in from off the Atlantic, so turning quite west, especially across England and Wales on Christmas Day. Boxing Day clears all of that away, so a much better day on Boxing Day, much drier and brighter, but a bit colder. And then up comes the wet weather as we get through to the 27th of December, moving up from the south, so that turning a little bit wintry over the high ground of Wales, and particularly towards northern parts of England, actually, by the 28th of December. So heavy rain in the south, rain, sleet and snow, so particularly over high ground further north. That wet weather gets out of the way. We left these wintry showers into the north and the east as we approach the New Year. There's little bits of snow around, you'll notice, as we get toward the New Year. And that's the scenario by midnight on New Year's Day. So New Year's Eve to New Year's Day, looking mostly dry, cold, and probably frosty. These are the options on the table within the ECM Ensemble Day 4 Day 10. Gets us to New Year's Day from the Icelandic Met Office. 10 members of the ECM Ensembles with high pressure building from the southwest. That's going to be mostly dry. You would have thought relatively mild. We've got 10 with low pressure to our east. High pressure is out to our southwest and our northwest. That's probably going to be bringing in quite chilly northwesterly winds. 9 with low pressure over top of the country. That can be very unsettled. Could be a bit on the cool side. 8 with a ridge in the Atlantic. Low pressure to our east. That's going to be unsettled again. Could be quite cool. With that, we've got 7, including control and the operation run with low pressure to our south and east. High pressure rain to the northwest. Again, that could deliver in some quite cool or cold air from the northeast. And 7 with low pressure again to the east. High pressure to the southwest. Most of those options actually bringing the wind in from a northerly-ish direction by New Year Day, so most of them are looking quite chilly. Certainly New Year could be quite a lot cooler compared to Christmas. I mean, in 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we've got. It will get us to the 6th of January. 17 members of the ECM Ensembles looking very inconclusive, but trying to raise the heights a little bit towards Greenland and Iceland. 13 with a mid-Atlantic ridge going up towards Iceland. Low pressure over country. That could bring in quite a cold northeasterly. 12 with high pressure just out to our west. So quite a bit of dry weather with that, and it could be a little bit on the cooler side as well. And then we've got 9 just here with high pressure just to the west of Ireland. That's bringing in the wind from off the Atlantic. That's relatively dry, but is the mildest option that will be bringing in mild air from the Atlantic. And talking of mild, we've got to finish off CFS. So this is the latest 700 millibar height anomaly from CFS for January. It's mild, low pressure to the north, high pressure to the south, winds coming in from the Atlantic. Not a sniff of anything cold there. Flat as a pancake. The temperature forecast in January to be significantly above average, and if it's right, we're facing a wetter than average month, especially so in the north and the west. And we're done. If you enjoyed the video, please do you like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much, everyone, for doing that. Why not drop a comment? Let us know what you think about this and all of our videos. And don't forget to tell friends about GavsWeatherVids. We thank you so much, everyone, for doing that. Around 12, 13 subscribers will get us to 17.5k. We're so close to 17,500 subscribers. If you could give us a sub, it would be amazing. And it would be incredible as well. Half an hour video for your Friday. Wow, wow, wow. What an epic. I hope you enjoyed that first 15 minutes looking at stratospheric latest developments, and we shall be bringing you lots more strat data in the 10 to 14 days, and with Strat Watch on every Wednesday through the rest of this season as well. Okay, so we're live at 10:30 with the final pub run before Christmas. Going to be an interesting one, I think. And I just say coming up on the channel over weekend. So tomorrow, we've got a 16 UK weather forecast. There'll be the EC 46 day, and there'll be a 10 to 14 day too. No weekend forecast tomorrow because that will be on Christmas Eve. So on Christmas Eve, on Sunday, 6 AM forecast, week ahead forecast, and we will be live late on Christmas Eve as well. That will be, really late into the first minutes of Christmas Day and whatnot. So that's going to be a lovely, lovely, wholesome live stream that we'll be doing on late on Christmas Eve night. And then on Christmas Day, we're going to have the 6 AM forecast, and we'll have our historic video. That's going to be looking at the winter of 1836, 1837, including the Christmas blizzard of 1836. Boxing Day probably won't be a 6 AM forecast because I don't fancy recording that on Christmas night, but there will be a 10 to 14 day later on in the day on Boxing Day, bringing you up to date with all of the developments. So that is the plan for the whole Christmas period at GavsWeatherVids. I hope that's all right with everyone, and yes, please keep checking back to the channel for more. The next thing that we're doing is our live stream at 10:30, our Friday night pub run live. So I shall see you a little bit later on for that one. But for this one, that's all for now, and thanks for watching.